1.5 similar triangles is the end of our unit 7. So what we're going to be really focusing on is the angle part. Last year you should have found that similar triangles have corresponding sides that are going to be proportional. Remember that corresponding means they're in the same place but on a different shape. So corresponding sides are going to be proportional. That's what you learned last year. This is what's new this year. That's a really good star, I know. Corresponding angles will be congruent. Meaning, even though the size of the triangle changes, the angles will stay the same. So even if you just shrink it, the angles stay the same. It's kind of like if you grab a picture on, let's say you're taking a picture and putting it on Microsoft Office and putting it on a Word document, and you pull the corner, those angles don't change. How big and small it is changes, but the angles stay the same. So here's how to tell if triangles are similar. You are going to find all the missing angles in the triangle. So see if two pairs of corresponding angles in a pair of triangles are the same or are congruent. If number 1 is true, so if two pairs are congruent, automatically the third one's going to be congruent, just so you know. Then the two triangles are similar. So the easiest thing to do is make sure all three angles come out the same. In other words, if we look at this one, I'm going to call this triangle A, and I'm going to call it triangle B, just so that you can see what I'm doing. Triangle A has angles of 87 and 58. So 87 degrees and 58 degrees. I need to find out this missing angle right there. So that missing angle, I know all three angles inside a triangle need to add up to 180. So if I take 180 and subtract the two angles that I have, this 87 and this 58, that will give me, and hopefully you're doing it with me, that will give me my missing angle of 35. That's what that missing angle right here is, okay? I'm going to do the same thing for triangle B. Triangle B, I have an angle of 87, and I also have a triangle or an angle of 35. So right now I already have two angles that are the same. I have 87, which is the same, and 35, which is the same, which automatically means that this angle is also going to be 58. So I'll just show you. We're going to do again. I know all three angles here need to add up to 180. So I'm going to do 180 minus 87 minus 35, and I'm going to get, lo and behold, 58. If all three angles, so you're looking for all three angles to be the same, then it is similar. You only need two angles the same, and the reason is because if two of them are the same, automatically the third one is going to be the same. So again, I started out, when I found the angle in A, I had 35. So that told me that 87 and 87 were the same, 35 and 35 were the same, so automatically they were the same. So let's try this. Let's call this one triangle C and this one triangle D. So triangle C, again, has angles of 80 degrees, 60 degrees, and my missing degrees would be 40 degrees. That would be this missing one right there. So triangle D, I have 80 degrees. So these ones are the same. If you look, these ones are the same. And then I have a 54 degrees, which automatically means these aren't going to be the same. So I could put 54 degrees here, and we could still find this missing angle right here. Just so you can see, these are not similar because all three angles will end up being the same, but you only have to make sure two are the same because automatically, again, that third one will be the same. So we would take 180 minus 80 because they do have one angle that's the same, but that one also has 54, which leaves this one as 46 degrees. So the only one they have the same is this one right here. So this one is no. Angles are not the same. Or all angles are not the same. All angles are not the same. Or you can only say only one angle is the same. All right, so again, we're doing the same thing. I put an extra one down here. So if you need to pause this to write it in, I want you to pause it and write it in. Sorry, I wrote it twice just so you could see here. So I have those angles there. So it says, are the triangles similar? So I have two sets of triangles. I am, seriously, guys, I am like going blind here. So I'm going to again just call this triangle A and this one triangle B. So triangle A, I have 114 degrees, 29 degrees. I need to figure out this angle right here. So I'm going to do 180, because all the angles in a triangle should up to 180, minus 114, minus the 29, which leaves me with 37. So that angle is 37. Now that I found that one, I have 114 degrees for that one. Okay, so that one's true. I also have a 29 degrees, which means that one's true. And then if these two are the same, that automatically leaves this one as 37 degrees as well. And I didn't even have to solve that because it already gave me my two angles that were the same to begin with. But just so you can see, this one would be yes. All pairs of angles are congruent. All right, these ones, like I say, mess you guys up the most, and that's because of this. So both of these have a 90-degree angle. We can tell they look similar. They are the same size, or sorry, the same shape but different sizes, but we need to make sure the angles are congruent. So again, let's just call this one A and this one B, just so you can see what I'm doing. Triangle A has an angle of 90 degrees and an angle of 34 degrees. My last angle, which is going to be this one right here, is going to be 180 minus 90 minus 34, which is going to give me minus 34. Just give me, okay, 56. That's what I thought, but I want to make sure. Okay, so that's 56 degrees. Triangle B, when I look at it, they both have a 90-degree angle. So far we have one angle that's the same. My other angle is a 53 degrees. So 53 is not the same as 56, and 53 is also not the same as 34, which means my last angle is also going to be different. I could do 90 minus 53 to figure out that third angle, which is 37. So we can see that this is close, but this is no. Only one angle pair is, and remember, this is the symbol for congruent, just remember. So only one angle pair is congruent. We need at least two, because that means the third one automatically will be. All right, this one tends to be the hardest for you because you forget something about these angles right here. Even though this has two unknown angles, and this one also has two unknown angles, we know that these angles right here are vertical. If you remember, vertical angles are congruent. So that means that this triangle has angles of 42 and a vertical angle, and the other one is 42 and the vertical angle. So this one would be yes. Both have, that doesn't have an E on the end, so both have a 42-degree angle plus the vertical angle. That's what makes those ones congruent, or similar, I should say, which means their angles are all congruent. All right, the last type of question you're going to have is going to be like this. It's going to be a matching. It's going to say, which two triangles are similar? So if you don't have this written down, I would write it down just as a reminder. It says, which two triangles are similar? So again, you have triangle A, triangle B, and triangle C. They've only given you two out of the three angles. So the first thing you need to do is find your missing angle for each one of these. So I'm going to start. I know that there should be 180 degrees in every triangle. So I do 180 minus 55 minus 61. That will give me this missing angle right here. This triangle has a 64 degrees. Now you can see that I have 55, 55. Now I have 64, 64. That should be your dead giveaway. Where originally I also had a 61 here and a 61 here. So it could have been this one and this one. So that's where we have to watch and make sure we pay attention. The next one I have 180 minus 55 minus 64. My missing angle there is 61. I'm just doing them all so that you can see why I'm picking the ones I'm picking. My last one has 180 degrees, but I've used 61 degrees for one angle, 70 degrees for another angle, and this leaves me with 49 degrees. So when I look at this, I need which triangles have the exact same angle measures. So that gives me A and B. They both have 55 degrees, they both have a 61 degrees, and they both have the 64 degrees. That one would not be similar to them. All right, that's what you're going to be working on today.